Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Lowell Park here in Cotuit, Massachusetts on a beautiful day for baseball. And this is Pre-Game Kettle Talk with your host, Sean Ellertson, alongside, as always, Matt Liberman. And Matt, as usual, let's recap last night's game. Mitch Stallings got his first start in a Cotuit uniform. What did you see out of him last night?
Well, I was actually surprised that he only lasted as long as he did, but in talking with Coach Roberts and talking with the coaching staff, it appeared that it wasn't going to be a long start from the beginning because it was kind of an emergency start for Stallings. And I was pretty impressed with Stallings. When you look at him, he was able to command his fastball well, gave up 2 runs, but when you look at what he was able to do, locate that fastball, able to get strikeouts. He actually did a tremendous job with 5 strikeouts in just over 2 innings pitched, and I was impressed overall. Used his breaking ball pretty well as well. So despite the short start, I would say that he had a solid performance for Cotuit.
Yeah, and Cotuit, unfortunately, the bats did show up once again, only scoring 1 run. That 1 run was an 8th run home run by Griffin Conine, who has been struggling recently. Do you expect a breakout performance out of him tonight?
I wouldn't necessarily say breakout because even though he is struggling, I mean, he still is one of the best bats in the entire Cape League. He's leading the Cape League in RBIs, and he's second in home runs. So if you look at him, I don't think that at any point there's ever a breakout performance, but I think that this could be an opportunity for him to get his bat going again. An off day tomorrow as well. I think after that you'll see some guys start to come around more. Just they need a rest. When you look at the grind that these guys have, it's day in and day out, sometimes 9, 10 games in a week. They need some rest.
Yeah, that off day is crucially important to this team, you would figure, with all the games played in the last 2 weeks. Now let's go to Biernat, who's standing fieldside with head coach Mike Roberts.
Thanks, Sean. Now, Coach, you guys have been on a little bit of a slide recently, but today's game is the last one before an off day tomorrow. How big would it be to come out here and get a win and carry some momentum into the off day?
Well, I don't worry about momentum into the off day because the off days you don't play baseball, so. But as far as winning, sure, would it help us to get a win under our belt? I think everybody kind of on our division is kind of struggling a little bit right now. A lot of teams are, up and down. But playing against Bourne right now, I think we're fighting for the top of the division. At least today we are. Certainly it would be great to get a win.
You talked to me a little bit yesterday about your hitters hitting with 2 strikes, and I noticed you guys were here a little early today for batting practice. Did you guys work on your 2-strike approach at the plate at all?
Yes, we did work on 2-strike approach. There's one thing to work on it, and I'm pleased with the attitude of the guys. The second part is you got to find out if we can execute it. So we did emphasize it in practice today, and hopefully I would like to see some of our hitters actually take that 2-strike approach prior to 2 strikes and use it because their swings are shorter, they're more compact, and I think they've got a better chance to make quality contact. But we did come in early and work on it today.
And despite the outcome the past few days, we've had some great starting pitching, and today we get to see Noah Davis back on the mound after not making a start for a little bit. What would you like to see out of him tonight?
Well, we certainly like to get 5 innings from him. This is Noah's last start before he goes home. He was coming for 5 starts, and Coach Andrew Checketts, his head coach at UC Santa Barbara, had kind of put that limits on us, and we're thankful to have him. And if he can come out and give us 4 to 5 really quality innings and stay ahead of the hitters, I think that would really help us.
All right, well, thank you, Coach, and good luck today.
All right, thank you.
Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Karen. Now, Matt, looking forward to tonight. We'll see Noah Davis on the mound for the first time in a couple weeks. It will be his last start in a Cotuit uniform. What do you expect out of him tonight?
Well, in talking with Coach Roberts, one of the things that Roberts mentioned is that he wants him to go at least 5 innings. I mean, that's a really quality start considering any pitching performance in the Cape League because that will get you to around 70 pitches typically if you're looking at pretty much how an effective starter would be used here. But one of the things that I've seen from Davis all season long is the ability to command the fastball, but not really his breaking ball. That's been his issue all season long. That was his issue at school as well. I mean, he has an ERA of 3 on the season, but I think that number should be higher considering the performances that he has had. You've had relief pitchers come and get him out of jams pretty much every single time he is thrown on the mound. So I think that overall tonight we'll probably see a bit of the same. We'll see the ability to work his fastball well and command the strike zone, but once the breaking ball comes around, I think that we'll see a lot of walks.
Yeah, and especially like to see him go deeper into this game after the starter last night. Mitch Stallings only went about 3 innings, 2 innings against Wareham. Now, focusing to the bats tonight, Finally get to see the big boppers in there. John Cresto in the 3 spot. What do you expect out of the lineup? Can they finally break out as a team?
Well, I want to highlight something that you just said is John Cresto in the 3 hole. I think that that's something really key that Roberts is looking at, because when you look at the team over the last 3 games, it has not been pretty. You have 2 hits, and then 3 hits. You have 1 run, 0 run, and then 1 run. And they need a spark, and John Cresto has that. He has some of the best power in the Cape League, and he's somebody that when he's hot, he can be as dangerous as anybody from the dish. When you look at the lineup again tonight, it looks like Coach Roberts pretty much looked at everybody's batting average, said, all right, who are the top 9, and put them in order. I mean, Griffin Conine, Grayson Genesta, John Cresto, that was the top 3 that he had going for a while, and I think that was the one that worked for him. That was the one they were riding during that 7-game non-losing streak, and I really don't understand why he got away from it, but I'm glad to see him go back to it tonight, because when you look at the lineup, these are the 9 biggest bats on the team.
That's an excellent point, actually. John Cresto is not seeing the field in a while. Same thing with Zach Cohn, 2 guys who are finally in the lineup tonight. Now let's go back to Kara, who's with Brian Rapp, who pitched 3 innings of scoreless baseball last night. Kara?
Thanks, Sean. Now, Brian, we saw you make a start earlier this season, but ever since we've seen you in the bullpen, and I know you were a starter at Boston College. Did you make any adjustments coming from starting and then being a reliever?
You know, not too much. I mean, Coach Roberts and I have been working a lot in the bullpen. Same with Coach King. They've been awesome. And I'm just trying to go out there, throw strikes, and put together some competitive at-bats. So.
And I know you and Gian Martellini are teammates at Boston College, and you do get to pitch to him. Does it make it a little bit easier that he knows kind of your stuff?
Definitely much easier. I mean, it's not too often that you get to come in to summer ball and you have your catcher from school. So it was a pretty easy transition period, and Gion's great back there. I mean, he's grown tremendously behind the plate, and I love throwing to him. Blocks everything up, and he's got a great mind for the game, so he knows how to call a game too. So it's been really good.
Staying on the Boston College theme, we do see a lot of players come to the Cape from here. How is it to see your teammates get a lot of success in this league?
It's awesome, honestly. It's a great time. Every time we play different teams and, you know, we have one of our guys on there, it's really an awesome time to, especially after the game, dap them up at the end and get some laughs. And it's always fun facing each other. Like I faced Jake Palmaki on Chatham the other day. That was a really cool experience. It always is. We're roommates, and so it's funny. You kind of go for some bragging rights for when we get back in the fall in a month or so.
All right. Well, thank you, Brian.
Of course, thank you.
Back to you, Sean.
Thank you, Karen. Now I'm here with Matt McHugh, the other beat writer for the Cotuit Kettleers, and he's going to give us his X Factor and key to the game. And I believe your X Factor we've already touched on.
Yeah, the X Factor for me is John Cresto, who's back in the lineup hitting 3rd today. And he's a guy who, at the beginning of the year, was in the lineup every day and then went through a bit of a rough patch at the plate with the strikeouts. But, you know, he's a guy, anytime he's up there, he's a threat to hit a long ball or just hit one in the gap, get some extra bases. And I think that might be the spark that this team needs.
And you haven't tipped us off on your key to the game yet, so I have no intro to it. So what is your key to the game tonight against Bourne?
Well, my key to the game is just going to be working these starting pitchers. That's something that hasn't really happened the last few games. It's been a lot of swinging early, not working the count, and just kind of falling behind and then just battling back in the count. And it's a lot harder to get a hit when you're battling back in the count. So it's going to be a more patient approach. It's just going to be working the starting pitcher and then ideally any middle reliever after that, and just try to get to that bullpen a little earlier than they otherwise would.
Yeah, Cotuit looking to snap a 5-game losing streak against Bourne tonight. Noah Davis's last start in a Kettleers uniform tonight at Lowell Park. For Biernat, Matt Liberman, Matt McHugh, I am Sean Ellertson. First pitch at 5 p.m. Hope to see you here